In this video, we will talk about the diversity of Ecdysozoa. You guys must be wondering, right, what is Ecdysozoa? Actually, Ecdysozoa is a group of protostome including nematoda, arthropoda, and a smaller phyla. They were first defined by Aguinaldo in 1997. They are one of the major group animals, which contains the largest number of species, which is more than 4.5 million. What makes these organisms special is that they have an outer covering called cuticle, which protect their soft internal organs from the water loss, outside environment, and predators. The cuticle is periodically shed to allow the growth. This process called as egg disease. As we all know, one of the Ecdysozoa is nematoda, which also known as roundworms. The roundworm is a non-segmented worm. That means that they have a smooth body layer. But just like other Ecdysozoa, roundworms are also covered by a tough cuticle. They are prevalent in almost every environment. As example, they can be found mainly in freshwater habitats. However, they also can be found in intestines in human body. This one is the most dangerous roundworm because it is a parasite that can kill the host. Now we're moving to the classification of roundworms. The classification of roundworm, which is parasite roundworms from the Ascarisis lumbricoides class. These parasitic roundworms, also known as helminths. They are large microparasites. Even the adult one can generally be seen with the naked eye. Other Ascarisis species like Ascarisum and Ascarid can infect domestic animals like pigs. Ascariasis is very common in tropical countries, especially in the areas with poor sanitation. Ascaris species are very large. Adult females can be 20 to 35 cm long, meanwhile adult males can be 15 to 30 cm long. Adult females can produce approximately 200,000 eggs per day and then pass the eggs into the feces of the infected person. So the eggs can remain viable for many months in the infected person. Eggs also can enter the human body via uncooked vegetable, salt finger, and hatch in the intestines. So we should aware of this disease from early stage. The sign and symptom can be vomiting, nausea, coughing, fever, abdominal cramping, and also abdominal discomfort. Trichinosis is a disease from roundworm that people can get by eating raw or undercooked meat from animal infected with microscopic parasite Trichinella. The animals such as pigs, dogs, cats, rats, and many wild animals including fox, wolf, and polar bear may carry the parasite. But commonly, people easily can get this disease when they eat rare pork containing encysted Trichinella larvae. How does this trichinosis affect your body? Well, after about a week with infection, the adult female worms produce larvae that go through the intestinal wall, entering the bloodstream and eventually burrow into muscle or other tissues. These tissues invasion can cause high fever and also muscle pain. Usually, trichinosis isn't a serious condition and may go away without treatment within a few months. However, receiving proper treatment can speed up the recovery process. Moving to another type of roundworms, which is filarial worms. It also can cause various diseases. How would a human get filarial worms? Well, people can get by mosquitoes. People with this disease can suffer from lymphedema and elephantiasis, and in men, swelling the scrotum called hydrocele. This disease can be cured, but not after the scar tissue has blocked lymphatic vessels. It usually affects at impoverished nations like Africa.
What exactly are arthropods? So arthropod basically is an invertebrate living organism characterized by the presence of an exoskeleton, segmentation, a variety of respiratory systems, an open circulatory system, and also a life cycle that includes metamorphosis. I will continue to explain about these characteristics after this. Like I've mentioned just now, all arthropods have an exoskeleton, and as we all know, exoskeleton is the external skeleton that supports and protects the animal's body. The exoskeleton also has a protective function for internal organs of the organism. And in this case, the arthropod's exoskeleton is made of layers consisting primarily out of chitin, which is a strong, flexible, nitrogenous polysaccharide. The exoskeleton of an arthropod are very essential for their success and limitations. Exoskeletons also have various functions such as protection from external environment, help in locomotion, support their bodies, reduce loss of water, and also energy storage. Next, I will be talking about segmentation. Arthropods are divided into different segments. And segmentation is a division of some animals and plant bodies into a series of repetitive segments that have specialized structure and organs. Additionally, segments provide a region where the multiple limbs of appendages of arthropods arise. These appendages are basically hollow tubes moved by muscles and have several functions, including locomotion, feeding, and also reproduction. These appendages are also often associated with sensory structures. Arthropods have open circulatory system, and the open circulatory system of an arthropod consists mainly of hard and also short arteries. Arthropods have open circulatory system because they have air sacs to supply blood to the heart. Their circulatory systems help in supplying oxygen to the entire body and also to dispose carbon dioxide. I've already explained about the circulatory system in arthropods. So, what makes the respiratory system in arthropods different from other ecdysozoa? Well, the respiration in arthropods differs in various arthropods. For instance, marine arthropods such as crustacean and also crayfish use either diffusion through their cuticles or gills, whereas terrestrial forms have book lungs or air tubes, which is also known as trachea, which are small tubes that permit the diffusion of oxygen to all the body parts. I've only stated a few of the many examples of how different types of arthropods respirate. This is only to show that various types of arthropods have different types of respiration system. Last but certainly not least, the characteristics of an arthropod is it has a life cycle that includes metamorphosis. Metamorphosis, if you don't know, is a biological process in by which an animal physically develops after birth or hatching. The easiest example to give is the life cycle of a butterfly. When it first hatches from the egg, it is a larvae, or as we all know, a caterpillar, which then will turn into a pupa and eventually evolve into a beautiful butterfly. Then the butterfly lays eggs, and the cycle goes on and on in a circle. Among the arthropods, the larvae eats different food and live in different environment from the adult. For instance, a larval crab lives among and feed off plankton, while adult crabs catch live prey or eat dead organic matter. This is very important because this results in reduced competition for resources among animals.
Hi guys, today I'm going to talk about centipedes and millipedes and insects. In centipede, each of their many body segments has a pair of walking legs. Despite the name, centipedes can have varying number of legs, ranging from 30 to 354. Centipedes always have an odd number of pair of legs. Therefore, no centipede have exactly 100 legs. Centipedes are carnivorous. Their size can range from a few millimeters to about 12 centimeters. As predators, centipedes mainly use their antennae to seek out their prey. Their digestive tracts form a simple tube with a digestive glands attached to the mouth parts. Like insects, centipedes breathe through a tracheal system, typically with a single opening or a spiracle on each body segment. Centipede reproduction does not involve copulation. Males deposit a spermatophore for the female to take up. In other cases, the male just leaves them for the females to find. Okay, next is millipedes. Millipedes are a group of arthropods that are characterized by having two pairs of jointed legs on most body segments. Each double leg segment is a result of two single segments fused together. Most millipedes are slow-moving creatures, eating decaying leaves and other dead plant matter. Some eat fungi or drink plant fluids, and a small minority of predators. Millipedes are generally harmless to humans, although some can become a garden pest. Millipedes come in a variety of body shape and sizes, ranging from 2 mm to around 35 cm. Millipedes' body may be flattened or cylindrical and are composed of numerous metameric segments, each with an exoskeleton consisting of 4 chitinous plates. Despite the common name, no millipede has been discovered with 1,000 legs. Common species have between 34 and 400 legs. Millipedes show diversity of mating styles and structures. Male deposits spermatophores onto webs they secrete with special glands, and the spermatophores are subsequently picked up by females. Females lay from 10 to 300 eggs at a time, depending on the species, fertilizing them with the stored sperm as they do so. Many species deposit their eggs on moist soil, but some construct nests lined with dry pieces and may protect the egg with silk cocoons. In most species, female abandons the eggs after they are laid. Other than that, many species also emit various foul-smelling liquid through microscopic holes called ozophores along the side of their body secondary defense. Among the many irritant and toxic chemicals found in the secretions are alkaloids and hydrogen cyanides. Some of these substances can burn the exoskeleton of ants and other insect predators, and the skin and the eyes of the large predators. Okay, next I'm going to talk about grasshoppers. Grasshoppers are a group of insects belonging to the suborder Stilifera. They are among what is probably the most ancient living group of herbivorous insects. Grasshoppers have a typical insect nervous system and have an extensive set of external sense organs. Like other insects, grasshoppers have an open circulatory system and their body cavities are filled with hemolymph. Their respiratory system begins with openings in the exoskeleton called spiracle. From here, air enters small tubes called trachea. The trachea branch and rebranch, finally ending in moist area where the actual exchange gases take place. This system circulates nutrients throughout the body and carries metabolic waste to be excreted into the gut. Most of grasshoppers are foragers, eating vegetarian from multiple plant sources, but some are omnivorous and also eat animal tissues and animal feces. In general, their preferences is for grasses, including many cereals grown as crops. Some grasshoppers possesses cellulase, which by softening plant cell walls makes plant cell contents accessible to other digestive enzymes. That's all from me, guys. Thank you.
Hi, today I'll be talking about crustaceans and chelicerates. Crustaceans are cladostrands if they have 4 to 6 pairs of thoracic legs, lack any pair of eyes, swim with their second pair of antennae, and have at least the head not covered by carapace. Crustaceans are some of the most important marine life to humans. Humans hunt them, eat them as seafood. For instance, some examples are shrimps, lobsters, crayfish, crabs, and many more. All crustaceans have a hard exoskeleton which protects the animal from predators and prevents water loss. However, exoskeleton do not grow as the animal inside them grows. So crustaceans are forced to molt as they grow larger. The molting process takes between few minutes to several hours. And one of the example of crustaceans are crayfish. Crayfish belong to a group of animals called crustaceans and are part of the phylum Arthropoda. Crayfish, like many crustaceans, have a carapace or shield which projects backwards from the head and covers all the thorax. The carapace has two functions. Firstly, it protects the delicate feather-like gills which branch off from the base of the legs, and secondly, it provides a water channel. There is a constant flow of oxygenated water to pass over the gills and enables the crayfish to breathe. Next up, we'll talk about chelicerates. Chelicerates are a group of arthropods that include scorpions, spiders, horseshoe crabs, and ticks. There are about 77,000 living species of chelicerates. Chelicerates have two body segments, the tegmenta, and 6 pairs of appendages. 4 pairs of appendages are used for walking, and the other 2 pairs of appendages are used as mouthparts. Chelicerates have no mandibles and no antenna. The exoskeleton of a chelicerate is a hard external structure made of chitin, and it is needed to protect itself and prevent desiccation, and it also provides structural support. Since the exoskeleton is rigid, it cannot grow with the animal and must be molted periodically to allow an increase in size of the insect. After molting, a new exoskeleton is secreted by the epidermis. That is all from me. Thank you. I hope you have learned a lot from chelicerates, about chelicerates and also crustaceans. Thank you.